the chapter 2, components of food. So in this chapter we will learn about the various components which we have in our daily food. Okay. Have you ever heard that a person is only eating potatoes or only eating rice? Will that only eating one kind of food, will that help any individual to grow? No, right? There should be a balanced diet. There should be each and every component in a food which we eat. So what are the basic components of food? The first one is, here you can see, nutrients. The second is water, and the third is roughage. Now under nutrients we have 5 basic components. The first is carbohydrates, the second is fats, third is proteins, fourth is vitamins, and fifth one is minerals. Now this carbohydrate and fats. Okay, carbohydrates are basically the plant sources. I will show you the sources. Okay, I will show you the pictures and I will show you some examples too. But just let me give you an idea that carbohydrate and fats, both of these are the energy giving food, because they provide us the energy to do all the work which we do. Okay, the proteins are the basic bodybuilding food. That is, it helps our body to grow, body to develop. It helps in the growth and development of the individual from baby to an adult. Then there are vitamins and minerals, and both of them are protective food. What are they? They are protective food. That is, they protect our body from the diseases. Okay, and they also help in the repair of the damaged tissues and all. Okay. This water, this is also a very important component of food. Do you know why? Because water regulates the body temperature. We all know that human body consists 70% of water, and this water helps in the regulation of the body temperature. It also helps to absorb the nutrients which we eat from the food. Okay, whatever food we are eating, that food definitely has certain components in it, either it is rich in carbohydrate or protein or fat. So that helps to this water helps to absorb the nutrients. Okay, and the third point is, it helps in the transportation of the nutrients from the mouth to all part of the body. Okay, and the last one is roughage. Now this roughage, what is its function? The main function. Okay, do you know what are roughage? Roughage are basically the peels, or it can be half crushed wheat, all green leafy vegetables. They are all roughage. Okay, the peels of an apple or cucumber, potato, everything, it all contains roughage, and they are called roughage. Why? Because they have fibers in it, and that fibers help our body to get rid of the undigested food in our body. Okay, this is the first function of roughage. And the second most important function is that it also helps in the absorption of water, and it retains the water in our body. Like we drink water, right? But what will happen if we take the particular amount of water, that is 2 to 3 liters of water, whichever what a basic adult needs. But what will happen if our body cannot hold that water? Then what will happen? We will feel dehydrated. Okay, our body will lose its energy. We won't be able to function. So for that retention of water retention. Okay, for the retention of water, to hold that water in our body, we need to have roughage in our diet. Now I have some pictures here of roughage.
This is the picture of some of the foods rich in carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are mainly from plants. This is the picture of rice, bajra, jowar, and all the cereals, they are carbohydrates only. And some of the vegetables like potato and then unripe banana, okay, these are all also carbohydrates. And can you name some fruits which can be the rich source of carbohydrate? Like all the sweet fruits which are sweet in taste, they are carbohydrate. For example, mango, then papaya, then melon, then sugarcane. We get the sugar from sugarcane. Okay, so these are all rich sources of carbohydrates. See here we have rice. Okay, and what is this? This is wheat. This is also carbohydrate. And Look, this is potato. This is also a source of carbohydrate. This is banana. This is banana, and banana is also a rich source of carbohydrate.
Now children, there are mainly two types of carbohydrate. The first is sugar and the second is starch. Now, sugar are simple carbohydrates. Sugars are simple carbohydrates and starch is complex carbohydrate. Like this building. Okay, any building, it is made up of brick. The brick is the simplest unit of a building. Just like that, carbohydrates are made of many small units. And each small unit is called sugar, or you can say monosaccharide. Okay, and like this, when many monosaccharides link together, more than 10 monosaccharides link together, they form a polysaccharide. Poly means many and saccharide means sugar. So many sugar means polysaccharide. And the example of polysaccharide, do you know? Yes, potato. Example of polysaccharide is potato, because potato is rich in starch. Okay, starch is the complex carbohydrate, and the sugar which we eat, that is a simple carbohydrate. Okay, now I will show you one test, a test for starch. Now I have this potato with me, and I will cut a piece of potato. Okay. And what I will do is that I will take little bit of iodine. Okay, I will take little bit of iodine. Just a second. Now children, do you know that we don't use iodine directly with the dropper? Why you know? Because this dropper might be dirty, or even if it is clean, it might spoil the whole iodine. That's why what we do is that even if we have this bottle of iodine solution, we transfer it in a little place, so that this iodine solution is protected. Okay, it doesn't get any germs and it stays for a long time. Now, can you see the color of this iodine solution? See, this is kind of a reddish and orangish color. See, I hope you can see this one. See, reddish and orangish color. Now, I will take a drop of this iodine. Okay, I will take a drop of this iodine on this potato and put it here. You see what is happening? Is this any more red color? Just wait. Just wait for like few seconds and you will be able to see. The potato is turning. So this blackish violet color of potato indicates that starch is present in potato. Okay, and this is what? This is banana. Okay, this is ripe banana or unripe banana? This is unripe banana. So when we eat unripe banana, in unripe banana, the sugar, the carbohydrate which is present here, not sugar, the carbohydrate which is present here, that is in the form of starch. That is a complex carbohydrate which is made up of many sugar units. Sugar units, and it is a polysaccharide. Starch is a polysaccharide. Now I will do the same test with starch. Let us see whether it happens or not. Okay. Just a second. Now this is banana. Okay, let us test with some iodine. This orangish iodine. Let us wait whether it turns bluish, blackish color or not. See, blackish violet color. So this is the confirmation test. This is the test of starch. This means that just like our potato, and our banana, unripe banana also has starch in it. But do you know that when this banana is in ripe condition, when it turns all yellow and all, then it has sugar in it. It doesn't have starch anymore. The starch is broken down into sugar. What did I say? That the starch is polysaccharide which breaks down into smaller units and becomes a monosaccharide, that is sugar. So when the banana will be in ripe condition, there will be sugar, but when the banana will be unripe condition, This test, our iodine test, shows the presence of starch.
Now children, I have told you earlier that carbohydrates, the basic unit of carbohydrates are sugar or glucose. Okay, sugar or glucose. Now these carbohydrates, this is in the polysaccharide form. When we eat any carbohydrate, we eat it in the polysaccharide form. Okay, and the basic unit, this is the sugar or glucose, this is the basic unit. Okay, now what happens when we eat any carbohydrate, that is when we eat any potato or any roti. Okay, what happens is that when we first eat it, it goes inside our mouth. Okay, then inside our mouth there are some enzymes called salivary amylase, amylase. Now inside our mouth there are some enzymes called salivary amylase. Now this enzyme, what this enzyme does is that this enzyme breaks the complex carbohydrate into a simpler form. Okay, into a little bit of simpler form. Then that simple form, such as the if I am eating potato, then which polysaccharide is inside potato? It is starch. Now if I am eating starch, this starch is broken down into maltose. Okay, into maltose here only. With the help of the salivary amylase, it is broken down into maltose. Then this maltose goes inside the esophagus, it passes through the esophagus, then it passes through the stomach, then it comes to the small intestine. After the first enzyme, that is the salivary amylase, which acts in the salivary glands, the second enzyme which acts on carbohydrate is some carbohydrate splitting enzymes. Okay, and these enzymes are known as pancreatic enzymes. Which enzymes? These are known as pancreatic enzymes. Now these pancreatic enzymes acts on the carbohydrate inside this small intestine, and it again breaks the complex maltose form, the disaccharide maltose form, into the simple polysaccharide units, that is glucose units. Okay, so first complex carbohydrate, that is the polysaccharide, that is the starch we eat, it is in the mouth, then it breaks down into maltose. By here the salivary amylase acts on them and it breaks them, and then in the small intestine there are some enzymes called pancreatic enzymes. Which further acts on maltose and breaks them into glucose unit. Now this polysaccharide is first broken down into disaccharides, then these disaccharides are broken down into monosaccharides, and saccharide, that means sugar, polysaccharide, many sugar, is first broken down into maltose, that is a disaccharide, means 2 sugar units, then it is further broken down into glucose unit, that is a monosaccharide, that means 1 sugar unit. Now inside this small intestine there are, see, this is the picture of a small intestine. Now inside this small intestine there are villi. Okay, there are villi, and inside this villi there are tiny blood vessels. Now these blood vessels absorb the glucose units, and the glucose unit transports throughout our whole body, and inside the body the carbohydrates inside the body is stored in the form of glycogen. Okay, it is stored in the form of glycogen in liver and muscles. So carbohydrates is stored in the form of glycogen in liver and muscles in animal cells, in animals, and in protein, and in plants these carbohydrates are stored in the form of starch. Okay, in plants. So I have told you here 2 points, that carbohydrates are stored in the form of starch in plants, and carbohydrates are stored in the form of glycogen in liver and muscles in animals. Now this glycogen and this starch both of them are polysaccharides. So when we eat any carbohydrate, it is in the polysaccharide form, it is going into the body, then degrading itself, and it is in the monosaccharide form, and when again it is stored in the body, then it is all again converted into the polysaccharide form. That's all for today's video. Thank you for watching.